some of your background, and I'm going to go around. I want to ask each of you your backgrounds.
Started playing guitar real early, got real interested. Parents raised me Beatles, Billy Joel, just things that great songwriting.
You have good parents.
And then at a really young age, started going to punk rock shows. Nobody really knows this, but first concert, Boys to Men.
Wait, that's not
tour? No, I'm going back.
Just so you know, that's not punk rock. Just so you know.
Okay. I know.
I just want to clarify.
I know.
Boys to girls.
So
Let's say.
So let me. I hope your next concert was like Black Flag or something like that.
Every year Warped Tour ever came in Florida. Then started watching bands that were coming up in our local scene. Mark and I grew up in a great scene down south. Newfound Glory came out of there. Poison Well came out of there.
A lot of good bands.
Came up at that time, and our scene was a great scene.
It was exciting because, and I look back on it because I didn't realize it was such a scene going through it in high school and just being out and going to shows and then when the scene kind of disappeared and kind of dried up down there, it was kind of, oh man, where'd it go? So, but it was fun growing up in that for sure.
Okay, so that was sort of your influence then.
The reason I've continued to do music is definitely the unified scene that we grew up in, and just seeing that, man, if your heart's into it, you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
My heart's into a lot of the things, man. We won't go there. Okay, very cool. And you?
All right. I started playing bass guitar when I was about 12 years old. I was in high school jazz band. Early on, I listened to like a lot of weird stuff. I really liked the Ventures, Everly Brothers, like a lot of like old 50s style surf rock and stuff.
Can I stop you really quick? Because normally when someone is in a high school band, they're like the nerds of the group. But you said jazz band. Does that
it's
change
even
things?
nerdier.
It's nerdier.
Oh yeah.
I kind of feel like it would go the other way, but maybe.
I don't know. I mean, it's.
So you were a nerd.
I was made to feel like it wasn't cooler.
And look at you now.
Yeah. There
I
you
think
go.
That's funny. Okay, so go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. No, it was cool.
Well, no, I did mean to cut you off.
It was cool because basically I didn't know how to read music, and one of the things was you had to know how to read music. So basically, I was just playing whatever I wanted along to the songs the whole time, and eventually they figured it out and kicked me out. But I managed to pull it off for like 2.5 years, and I learned a lot. But
that's all right. I pretend like I know what I'm doing as a DJ.
So. You got to pretend, right?
2 years. I've been fooling everybody. Yeah.
You can't teach this stuff. You just do it,
right?
You figure it out.
I know. That's what I told her last night. Okay, so you're still rocking, and you
I was in a punk rock band in high school. We did pretty.
What was the name of the band?
Prospect Zero.
It's a good name, man.
It was all right. It was a very good band. The singer Brent Loveday, he's actually still in a punk rock band called Reno Divorce in Colorado, and they're still doing well. They're going to Europe like every other year and stuff, and doing cool stuff.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah, it must be tough, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we did really well. We got to play New York. We got to play CBGB's, which was cool. When I was like 19, I was playing CBGB's. It was incredible.
Now I'm sad to say there might be some people out there that don't know what
Well, it doesn't exist anymore.
It's gone. I know. That's what makes me so sad.
It's a clothing outlet right now. If you walk past it, I think.
Oh
God. Good job, New York.
It was. It's where New York made music cool.
It's where punk rock was founded.
The Ramones, all kinds of cool stuff came out of there.
Right?
Talking Heads.
Yeah.
Talking Heads.
Talking Heads are awesome.
Talking Heads, man.
Yeah. Okay, and do you see this a long future in music?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, I still go out and play with my dad and my brother. My dad, he's still doing it. I could see myself doing it until I'm old and gray. I don't got long to go, so.
I feel like that was a stab at me.
You can count gray hairs later.
All right, I turned that one on myself. All right, man. Very nice, very nice. I'm getting tears over here listening to you guys. What do you got first, man?
Okay, so I'm giving you my history. All right.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
They're tears of boredom. That's
yeah. Well, I grew up with a piano in my house, and
so you were a nerd too.
Yeah.
I think most musicians are nerds.
Yeah, and I played piano until I played around with piano. I never took lessons, and I had my cousin Sal up in Jersey sent me a little keyboard, a little Casio keyboard.
Casio, yeah.
Yeah, and that thing spurred me too to play around some more. And then in high school, it wasn't until high school, a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, I need someone to play bass to back me up on my rhythm guitar stuff." I'm like, man, I don't know how to play guitar. I don't think I can do it. But sure enough, he taught me some pointers, and it just took off. And I was like, man, this is super fun. I like doing this, and I can make music on it. And then I always was just kind of floating around music. I met Alex around that time back in high school, and And I was in and out of little bands in high school, and then in college I didn't have much time.
And then
a
you
band
broke
here
your
or there.
hand.
I broke my hand. Yeah, I broke my hand. In
That makes it hard to.
accident.
That makes it hard to play.
Yeah, it changed the way I played though, which is kind of interesting.
For the better or for the worse?
I think it was for the better. I think
See,
it
it's the unintended consequences, right?
It made me kind of figure out my own way to play, I guess, because I had 2 fingers that worked at the time. So, and then I went through a couple bands here. One was called Verba Escape. That was fun for a few years here, and then I met these guys, and you know the story already. I talked about that, and now we're here in your studio, and it's awesome.
All right, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Well, that was pretty much everybody, right? I appreciate you guys, like all that feedback. Oh, Chatty, forgot you were there. You hadn't talked in like.
You want me to talk?
Well, you haven't talked in like 20 minutes, so I figured you might have like.
keep it easy for you.
He's trying so hard.
I know. I figured you either passed out or died. I couldn't tell which one. Yeah, Chatty, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Probably need more coffee. I am passing out a little. Listen to all styles of music growing up. 60s, 70s rock. Parents raised me with Beatles, Allman Brothers, The Who, Rolling Stones, some legendary drummers. Originally, I played guitar as a kid and bass as a kid. Didn't really fall that hard into it, though. Fell in love with drums around the age of 10. This October will now be 19 years. Grew up with punk rock. Used to go to shows. Ska bands. I love ska. I play other instruments as well, but drums is definitely my number one passion. And now I found these guys, and we're playing around the local area.
All right. Have you guys had a lot of gigs?
Yeah, about 5 so far. And
Yeah?
we got some more coming up. One tomorrow and
Okay.
one next week. And
So what's going? Let's see. What time is it? Should we do this? Yeah. Don't tell us just yet. But you have a gig tomorrow.
yeah,
And so-
We'll save the details for later, right?
yeah. Yeah. That's how we get them to come back.
yeah.
That's how we do it around here in radio. See, I do kind of know what I'm
Still
doing.
got like an hour to go.
We know your tricks.
Chatty, what are you worried that you can't? You got nothing to
No.
say?
Actually, yeah, no.
So okay,
You
you.
keep it minimal. I left my speeches in the car.
I'm sure you memorized them all.
No.
So okay, you talked about sort of where you came from and how you got here, but let me just hear like maybe one or two of your inspirations of sort of that one band or that one musician or even that one moment in your life that made you decide that you wanted to torture yourself as a musician for the rest of your life.
Alex, go.
Kurt Cobain, Rivers Cuomo, Billy Corgan made me want to pick up a guitar and be loud.
You said Kurt Cobain,
I said Kurt Cobain.
and you finished with Billy Corgan.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite
in between there, I said Rivers
that's
because he adds harmony to it all.
it's pretty amazing actually. I'm impressed. I was starting not to like you, but now I do.
For me, it was Cliff Burton, the bass solos on Ride the Lightning made me want to play bass.
Anastasia.
Anesthesia pulling teeth is I was
Okay.
like, I want to do this. This is what I want to do.
All right, so same thing. I was starting not to like you, but you said old Metallica, so now you're what? Old Metallica, new Metallica,
Old
Old
Metallica.
Metallica.
new Metallica.
No.
Not so much, huh?
No.
Brand new Metallica or like
Like,
middle
no.
Jason years Metallica?
No, like new Metallica. Yeah.
You mean After Therapy Metallica?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. All right.
that's like Morrissey on Prozac.
Thanks for tuning in. What's some of yours, my man?
Oh man, I could name a million, but I mean, like if I had to boil it down,
Chatty, if you could just boil it down to like one or two.
I'm not supposed to be chatty.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Boil it down one or two, I would have to say growing up would be Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails, Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins. I mean, later, the couple bands that came through the area here, like the Mercury Program. I don't know if anybody remembers them. Kind of a cool instrumental band. Maserati. A lot of stuff influenced me. But going back, Pink Floyd's awesome. Talking Heads. I mean, I listen to a lot of cool stuff.
I don't think I've ever heard Talking Heads used twice in the same day, so I'm impressed we got that. We snuck that one in right in there. And you said Trent Reznor. Now, how do you feel about his new stuff?
I think the new record is actually his best work since The Fragile in '99.
Okay, but the single that's out?
Came back on it?
Came
You
back
like-
on.
you
I
like
like it a lot.
I
yeah.
hate it.
Really?
I can't stand it.
What-
I hear it and I turn the radio
What is it?
immediately.
What is it that you don't like about
It does. It just doesn't sound like, to me, it doesn't sound like Trent Reznor or Nine Inch Nails.
I feel
It's-
that it totally has that old sampled drum machine that he uses in
Yeah.
Closer.
I don't know, man. I feel like he's gone too much closer to the jaunt or whatever it's called.
It's definitely modern sounding.
I don't like it.
I think it's got. I think the samples and the drum machines and I think some of what he's using. It sounds like to me it sounds production is modern, but at the same time I hear like in the music to me I hear a lot of the old school. Kind of like emotional type feel. That's me.
There we go. You
That's
lost me. That's where it's emo. That's what it is. It's
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 Nine Inch
9
Nails.
inch
Of course it's
emo.
emo.
Come on, it always was.
always
Nine Inch
was.
Nails was
No.
always there. You don't think it's a little melodramatic?
Come on.
Oh, melodramatic, but not emo. All right. I don't know. Emo just. I don't comb my hair to the side. I'm not depressed and want to do bad things to myself when I listen to Trent Reznor.
It is called hesitation marks.
Chatty.
You got me so distracted right now. I grew up really like in my teenage years with punk, and I really had no intention of playing drums until I went out around 11 years old or about 10 years old and saw Darren Pfeiffer from Goldfinger go off on a white 5-piece Pearl drum set, and I was like, that is awesome. Like, I want to learn how to play. Finally took it seriously, started playing later on. My influences were like Keith Moon, Neil Peart, big explosive drummers with a lot of fills, stuff like that. But even overall as a musician, I'd still have to say Billy Corgan, Kurt Cobain for being a music writer as far as writing rhythms and melodies on other instruments, and as well as lyrical progression, being able to express emotion in a very subtle and maybe not direct way to people, so everyone can relate to something that maybe only has one point.
You almost lost me.
Almost.
Sorry, I'm not worried about
No. Actually,
only
Chatty,
plays rhythm.
I'm very impressed. I actually thought you were like kind of shallow, and you just proved me wrong. I mean, so
That's cool. I thought I was shallow too. I'm surprising myself today.
so I can see why you guys get along so well. I mean,
much sugar in my coffee.
What you never enough. What I heard here, if I had to like sort of summarize and analyze, you guys all come from almost the same background. Not only do you sort of know each other, but I mean your taste in music. When I hear Billy Corgan and Kurt Cobain and some of the other names you put out there, I can see why you guys have been as successful as you
We're
have
all
been so
stuck
far.
in the 90s. This was
That's hey, listen. The name of my show is Fight Back Friday, aka the Grunge Before Lunch. So if anybody knows what it means to be stuck in the 90s, it's this guy.